Welcome to the Solo Investor. Today, we're diving into a question that quietly shapes almost every dollar you spend. Why do we buy what we don't need? On the surface, money decisions seem logical. Budgets, prices, numbers. But underneath, something else is driving us. Because the truth is, most financial choices don't start with logic. They start with emotion. So let's take a closer look and unpack the psychology of spending. Think about it. You buy a new phone, even though the one you have still works. You grab an online deal because it's 40% off, today only, and somehow it feels right. That feeling isn't random, it's designed. Companies spend billions studying how to make you feel something before you spend anything. They don't just sell products, they sell emotions, security, status, a sense of belonging, and identity. A good example is that $6 latte. It's not about caffeine, it's about comfort. It's the tiny ritual that says, I work hard and I deserve this. We're not just buying things, we're buying how they make us feel. And that's the emotional engine of money, a quiet force that drives more of our spending than we like to admit. Every time you see something new, like a pair of shoes, the latest phone, or a limited time deal, your brain releases a small spark of dopamine. It's the same chemical that fires when you win a game, eat your favorite food, or get a social media like. Dopamine tells your brain something good is coming. But here's the twist. That chemical hit doesn't come after you buy. It comes before. The excitement, the anticipation, the moment right before you click Add to Cart. That's the real reward your brain is chasing, and companies know it. That's why every sale has a timer. Why only 3 left pops up just as you hesitate. Why your inbox is full of last chance deals that somehow appear every week. They're not just selling products, they're feeding the loop. Anticipation, purchase, relief, then the crash. A few hours later, the high fades and the hunt begins again. It's not that we're addicted to spending, we're addicted to anticipation. It feels like control, but really, it's conditioning. And the more we chase that rush, the harder it becomes to tell the difference between what we want and what we're told to want. We all like to believe we're in control of our spending, that every swipe, click, or purchase is a conscious choice. But the truth? Most of our financial decisions are driven by emotion first, and only justified by logic later. You might tell yourself, it was on sale? It was an investment. I needed it for work. But underneath those explanations, something deeper is at play. Comfort, boredom, stress, or the quiet pull to feel enough. Behavioral economists call this post-purchase rationalization. It's our brain's way of protecting our ego after making an emotional decision. We create stories to feel in control, but in reality, we're often being guided, not by numbers, but by narratives. You see a jacket marked down from $199 to $99 and your brain says, I just saved $100. That's anchoring bias, a trick that makes spending feel like saving. We build stories to protect our choices. But the truth, it's not always control. It's conditioning, and emotion almost always wins. Money isn't just math, it's social. We spend to belong, to signal success, to feel seen. If your friends upgrade their cars or take expensive trips, you feel the pull to keep up. Not out of envy, but instinct. We're wired to mirror our tribe. But today, that tribe isn't your neighborhood. It's millions of highlight reels online, each one showing the best 5% of someone's life. You scroll and compare, and suddenly your steady progress feels small. That's lifestyle inflation. Spending more, not because you need to, but because you feel behind. It's not poverty of income, it's poverty of comparison. And it keeps more people broke than bad investments ever could. Understanding why you spend is powerful, but awareness alone isn't enough. Real change comes from systems, not willpower. Start by adding friction. Unsubscribe from flash sale emails. Delete the apps that make spending too easy. Then delay. Wait 24 hours before any unplanned purchase. Most urges fade once emotion cools. Ask yourself, what am I really feeling? Boredom, stress, comparison? And finally, automate your progress. Move money to savings or investments before you ever see it. Spend what's left, not the other way around. Because mastering your money starts with mastering your impulses, one small decision at a time. The real power isn't in what you buy, it's in what you can afford not to buy. Financial freedom doesn't come from earning more, it comes from needing less. Every dollar you don't spend impulsively is a dollar that buys back your time, your peace, your future. Wealth isn't built on flashy purchases. It's built quietly in the choices no one sees. Because the ultimate goal isn't to look rich, it's to live free. When you master your behavior, you master your money. And that's the real flex. Thanks for watching. And remember, wealth begins with awareness. If this video helped you think differently about money, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might be fighting their own spending habits. See you next week.